Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Life is Non-Negotiable podcast. This is a podcast where we help women make their health and their life non-negotiable after they have been neglecting their bodies while caring for the people that they love. We do that in a 6-week transformation program where we use functional medicine strategies, we use online fitness, and we really want to work hard on the mindset, right? And creating a new relationship with food. We do not want to have to live in a place where you're coming from a place of deprivation of what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. And so over these next few days, we're doing a 30-day do this, not that challenge. And I've been having a lot of fun with this because we've been able to kind of do gentle switches in some of our regular routines. We're all pasta lovers, myself included. I love to eat pasta. I will probably go to a pasta restaurant up to 3 times a year, not more than that. And one of them's usually on my birthday. So that's always a lot of fun because I do enjoy a good pasta meal. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't serve a lot of benefit to do that. So right now we are streaming live on my Facebook page, and it's my goal to do these live broadcasts with you on my Facebook page so I can interact with you. So please comment down below. You can also find the podcast on all of your favorite podcast directories, as well as the replays are also streamed on YouTube as well. So thank you so much, Rosanna and Marie, for joining us here today. Hashtag spaghetti squash. If you already know the amazing benefits of spaghetti squash, and in doing the research for this podcast, I didn't even know some of the extra ones that I found out this morning. And I got to tell you, it's going to become a staple in my daily routine, I should say weekly routine, because there are some fantastic benefits to spaghetti squash. Hi. So first of all, let's not start the podcast by saying only replace spaghetti squash or only replace spaghetti with spaghetti squash, because there are some other options out there, especially nowadays when you go into the health food stores. You're going to find a lot of options to replace pasta. It doesn't just have to be spaghetti squash, but it is my focus for today and how I want to share some of the amazing vitamins, minerals, antioxidant benefits with you, and why I would replace that with some of the wheat pastas, right? Hi, Sam. In the wheat pastas, first of all, we don't know if you're gluten intolerant or not. And the gluten intolerance has been massively, that's a word I just made up, has been severely over dramatized. The last statistic on the amount of Canadians that suffered from a gluten intolerance from celiac disease was about 18,000 out of all of Canada. But the marketing storm definitely picked that up and took full advantage of being able to put gluten-free on so many different types of products and then fill those products with all sorts of other things in there, like sugars and vegetable oils and all sorts of stuff that's no good for you anyways. So don't be fooled with the gluten-free thing. And although gluten is something to consider when we're talking about pasta, it's not necessarily the only reason why I would switch it up. So first of all, it's crazy high in carbohydrates. We are talking about wheat that is definitely going to look at fattening you up. Plus, we don't know what's happened to that wheat, right? So if it's an enriched wheat flour, that means it's been severely processed. A lot of the nutrients were stripped out of it in the processing of these pastas. When they say it's been enriched, you've had a synthetic, so-called vitamins restored back into the pasta. One thing I love about spaghetti squash is that it rots, right? You can buy it and, maybe about a month after buying it, it's going to start to go bad. So trying to use whole real foods that come from the ground is definitely a good way to start. Hashtag whole foods. If you agree with me on this one, rather than buying things in a box, anything that can sit in a box past 6 months, you really want to kind of question whether or not you want to put that in your body. Hi, Diane. So let's talk about some of the great benefits of spaghetti squash. So it is considered to be lower on the glycemic index. And for those of you who don't know, it's really right in the middle. So things that are lower on the GI index are normally going to be, you know, in the teens, in the 20s. If we're looking at anything rated in the 40s or 50s, it's kind of like midway through the GI index, the glycemic index. This is an index that rates just how high your blood sugar will go when you're eating certain foods. Okay, so anything higher on the glycemic index is usually a rating of 50, 55 and up. So it's ranked as kind of middle of the way. But it is, like I said before, really high in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It's also considered an anti-inflammatory because it is rich in vitamin A. So vitamin A is also known to help to promote healthy lungs and repair and restore lungs. So if you were a smoker many moons ago, hopefully you're no longer a smoker. Having some weekly spaghetti squash may help in repairing your lungs, right? So that's always a good thing. It's also known as an anti-inflammatory because of the vitamin A. So it's also high in omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so the ALA can promote a healthy heart, which is then converted to EPA, which is also known to help to lower triglycerides. So all in all, it's known to be heart healthy, right? And can help to reduce cardiovascular disease. It's also known to be high in vitamin C, which we know is great for boosting the immune system, which is fantastic as we're entering into, you know, the higher flu seasons. You're looking at higher levels of vitamins B1, 5, and 6. So having a good source of vitamin B vegetables in your regular diet every single day is very important, especially for your mood, right? Vitamin B6 is known to really help to boost your mood, make you feel good, make you happier. It's considered to have a really good source of dietary fiber. So it does have almost 6 grams of fiber per cup. So if you're going to have about a cup during your supper time, you're getting a good source of fiber there. Any of us who struggle to get in our magnesium, especially if you are having this at dinner time, well, you're getting magnesium and tryptophan here in your supper meal, which is really going to help aid in your sleep in a couple of hours that are going to follow that, right? So spaghetti squash could be considered a good nighttime option. It's also high in potassium, folate, and niacin. So as you can see with the spaghetti squash, it could very well be a good weekly staple to have at least once a week. Hashtag didn't know that. If you're listening to this podcast right now, live streaming on my Facebook, put in the hashtag I didn't know that, right? So I'm definitely going to be adding this into my regular routine. It's fairly easy to cook and it has a fairly long shelf life. One of my favorite books that I like to reference when I'm checking out individual fruits and vegetables and things, it's from the World's Healthiest Food Guide. This is one of the books that I definitely keep around my kitchen. And they will say that it will, you don't have to store it in the fridge. You can just kind of keep it on the counter or in your cupboard. It will keep for up to about a month. And when you go to cook it, what you can do is you can actually just slice it into 4 or 5 slices instead of just cutting it straight in half. Might be better just to cut it into 4 or 5 slices. You can put just drizzle a little bit of either avocado oil or a coconut oil, depending on what you want the taste to be. You could put a hair bit of olive oil. Just watch your cooking temperatures. You don't want that to oxidize while you're cooking. You have to be careful of the high heat temperatures. You could put a little bit of Himalayan salt for flavoring. And then you just spread out the slices on a little cookie sheet, pop it in the oven. And when it comes out about 20 minutes later, you just have to shave off the skin and kind of just poke a hole in what now looks like little discs, right? Little donuts. And there it is. There's your nice long strands of spaghetti squash ready to eat and consume. Easy peasy. So I'll do a video of us cooking spaghetti squash. I think that'll be pretty funny. Hashtag do a video if you'd like to see Bogdan and I cook our spaghetti squash meal. In the meantime, I do hope you fit that into your regular weekly routine. Get at least one spaghetti squash meal in there. And if you're looking for other pasta ideas, you can consider chickpeas and lentils and beans. There's a variety of different products out there that have used other options other than wheat, if that interests you. But again, it's always best to use those whole foods that come right from the ground and that are probably going to rot within a month or so of having it, rather than picking something that's going to be able to sit in a box for months on end. And with that, guys, I'm reminding you now that you are listening to Your Life is Non-Negotiable. This is a podcast where we help women make their health non-negotiable after they have neglected their bodies while caring for the people that they love. And we work really hard to help women remove the guilt that they often carry for taking the time to look after themselves. We have a full online gym that is very interactive, where the trainers are there waiting for you to show up. We hold you accountable to show up. We can offer you modifications to exercises because we can see you. So we can see your form. We can correct you live in action during our classes. You can also participate with a bunch of our other peeps that we have online with us at the same time. To check some of those things out, we do have a free 10-day trial. All you have to do is go to sherrysfitness.com and you will see the 10-day Magic Secrets challenge. And so by all means, you can get a bite out of what we do in our 6-week program by taking the 10-day challenge, where I share with you 10 functional medicine strategies on how to lose fat in your butt, belly, and arms specifically. I also give you 10 workouts that you can do in 10 minutes a day. So it's all great stuff. So if you want to go and check that out at sherrysfitness.com, please go ahead and do that. In the meantime, I'm wishing you all a fantastic day. Go make your life and your health non-negotiable today. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one. Bye for now.